Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for another episode of RFR Rundown. That's right, where we run down all the biggest Raider stories of the week. Myself and my good buddy, my best friend, Swag Jeff.
Yeah, it's draft day, man. I'm so hype.
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm so hyped,
this
bro.
This is the best, dude. This is the best. We've already had a great day starting off. Did RFR Live with Uncle Mosh this morning. It was a blast. All of Raider Nation was in on that one.
Oh my gosh, we had like 91 people at one point in the chat joining in with us. It was great.
That was so fun.
It was so good.
A lot of the made men were in there. Cody was in there.
Yeah.
Who else? Who am I missing?
Yeah,
man?
we
all of our UK people.
All the UK people. We had Queen Haley in there and 24 Karat Kev and we
Paul.
had Paul.
Yeah.
We had like 90 minutes of Paul.
We had 90 minutes of Paul. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. So appreciate all of you joining us at RFR Live this morning. Coffee with the RFR crew. And now we're on to the RFR Rundown. And this is where we hit some, this is where we kind of dive in a little bit more. We get a little bit more in detail in some of the big Raiders stories. So, of course, it is draft day. So we're going to celebrate and discuss the draft heavily. But before we get to the draft, Jeff, there's kind of been a running theme going on around this RFR Rundown show, hasn't there?
Breaking down a quarterback.
Breaking down a quarterback. We've talked a lot about the quarterback play recently, and I teased it on Twitter, and I teased it in a couple of actually it was on RFR Live that I had some numbers around a certain quarterback that I wanted to go over, and this is not an attempt to indict or to create a narrative or an agenda or even push an opinion. I really had a genuine interest in kind of how this unsettling feeling has been around Derek Carr, and I wanted to kind of just dig into it and figure out why. And I think I stumbled across something that you all will find very interesting. So before we get to that, though, Jeff, so when we talk about Derek Carr,
yes,
he's pretty good in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it's like, what are the things about Derek Carr that we love about him? We love his faith, his dedication to his family, how he carries himself, represents himself, his moral compass, all those things, and how he represents himself as a man. Yeah. Makes you feel good about being a Derek Carr fan.
And he loves being a Raider.
And he loves being a freaking Raider. So those are the things that are a give me. The other give me has always been, well, he's kind of clutch. Like, he can come back. So what are some of Derek Carr's stats in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, well, so in as far as active quarterbacks go in the NFL, he is ranked 10th in fourth quarter comebacks. And the people that are ahead of him are folks like, of course, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, and Andy Dalton are the 9 that are ahead of him.
So pretty good company.
Pretty good company.
Yeah,
good company. And he has 18 fourth quarter comebacks in his career.
18 fourth quarter comebacks. So,
yes.
And like 7 of those, I think, were in 2016. You told me, right?
Yes. Yeah. Out of those 18, almost half were in that incredible season. And then even 3 as recently as this last year, one of those against the Bears, right? Like, that was a big game over there in England, right? Yes, but that fourth quarter comeback wasn't DC4.
Oh, okay.
That one wasn't DC4.
He didn't do it.
No, he didn't do that.
Who did that one?
That was the defense that did that.
That was the defense that did that one.
Defense and a little bit of Josh Jacobs for you.
So you're saying that, okay, so he gets accredited for the comeback, but really he wasn't directly responsible for it.
Correct.
So here's the numbers that I kind of stumbled across, or some of the stats that I stumbled across, and here's what I think I've landed on. And this comes courtesy, the semblance of the data comes from the AP. It came through Josh Dubois. I believe the person that put together it originally was even somebody else. But anyways, what I did was I came across this thing, and it kind of sparked a few things in my brain. And then I took all this big, a semblance of data and kind of narrowed it down. Like you and I talk about in our day job all the time. Like, one of the things that we do for a living, literally, is we look at data, we interpret it, and then we present it to people. Like, we kind of narrow things out. We look for trends. We look for things within it.
Yes.
And so when I saw this big group of numbers and all these stats and stuff, I think it drew some context. So I wanted to bring it up on the show. So one of the things that the folks that are relentlessly supportive of Derek Carr, one of the things that they point to quite frequently and I take pride in it as well as a Raider fan, is that he's going to be the all-time leading passing quarterback for this team by the time he gets done with his career, even if that's this year.
Right.
He's passed Stabler in every significant category. Aside from championships, like, he's going to have them all. Like, all the regular season records.
What's the one that he doesn't have, though?
I don't know, because he's got completions and he's got all that
stuff. Is it touchdowns?
I don't. Maybe does Gannon have that?
No, I think Stabler.
Is it still Stabler?
Stabler has that in Carr's too, because I think he passed Gannon this year because Gannon put out a video and said congrats on passing the kid, and all that. But yeah, so I think the only stat of Stabler's that he's chasing, I believe, is touchdowns, and he's like a few away.
So he'll get that this year.
Yeah.
So at the end of this year,
week 1 of this year, yeah.
Right. So at the end of this year, he'll have every significant record, and so. Stabler didn't put up a lot of numbers, and this is the thing that I wanted, and this we're going to kind of follow me down this path, Raider Nation. Stabler was an MVP in 1974. I'm pretty sure he only threw for like 2,500 yards. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I don't even know these. I don't have them in front of me. I'm pretty sure he threw for like 2,500 yards, had like...
I don't even think it was that many.
And it's like 20-some touchdown passes and like 12 picks.
And it was like 20 and 20 or something like that. Yeah, one of the seasons he was 20 and 20.
But they used to win a lot. And that's where you can have an MVP season, not put up crazy numbers. Of course, defenses were played different back then too. And there were only 14 games. But not put up crazy numbers, but still win an MVP. So all those numbers that Derek puts up in the regular season really don't account for much when you don't have the W's attached to them.
Yes.
And so Kenny, what was Kenny famous for? Even John Madden said it at his Hall of Fame induction. If I had to pick one guy to pass the ball in the fourth quarter to win the game, I'd pick Kenny Stabler. This is a man who had been exposed to every freaking player as a commentator and as a coach through the greatest eras we've ever seen or heard of in football.
Absolutely.
And he lands on Kenny. Granted, he's biased, but still, point being is that Kenny was clutch. That's why we love Kenny.
And he takes chances. I mean, he takes chances. You see that in his interception stat as well, because Stabler does lead the Raiders with 150 touchdown passes in his career.
Okay.
But he had 143 interceptions.
There you go.
And actually second on that list in touchdowns is LaMonica.
Oh, really? So where's Derek?
Derek is third right now. So you got Stabler at 150, you got LaMonica at 148, and you got Derek Carr at 143.
Okay, so he
will pass. Yeah, he'll
by
pass
mid-season
by week 2 or 3. Probably
you would hope.
Well, yeah, you would.
We hope. We are hoping he does.
Well, yeah.
At a minimum, though, by mid-season, though, then he's eclipsed
yeah.
Stabler. Okay, so there you go. All right, so why then? So where are we going with all this? As I mentioned, there's an uneasy feeling around Derek Carr. You can call him, some people refer to those folks as haters. Some people refer to the relentless supporters as Kardashians, or you know what I mean? Whatever. Okay. But there's this divide in Raider Nation, and it showed up on this show, and we've discussed it endlessly. And you all know us. We are going to support this man.
He's my favorite quarterback.
My favorite quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there is something about him that doesn't sit well. So, all those good things we've established, why is it that he doesn't sit well with us at times? Jeff, I think I've got it.
Okay.
You said he's got 18 total fourth quarter comebacks.
Yes.
Wins, okay?
Yes.
Did you know, and you do because we talked about this, Derek Carr also has 26 fourth quarter losses.
Yes.
So he is 18 and 26 in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean? So what qualifies those 26 losses? Okay, follow me, Raider Nation. Again, I'm not here to give you an opinion. I'm just here to give you some numbers. I'm here to give you some context, because the good stats don't draw into context. I'm going to give you something that draws into context for me. Why is it that at times I lack confidence in Derek Carr? So 26 times Derek Carr's Raiders have gotten the ball with either down by 8 or less. Okay? So twice his team has gotten the ball down by 8. The rest of the times has been 7 or less. And most of these, I won't give you each game individually, but most of these we're talking 2 points, 3 points, 1 point, 4 points, like that kind of a thing. where Derek Carr's offense received the ball in the fourth quarter down by less than one score. Out of those 26, so 26 times that has happened, and they have lost. All right? When you look at the turnover ratio or the turnover number in those 26 losses,
Okay.
9 times the Raiders have turned the ball over that have been directly linked to Derek Carr. 2 times he has fumbled, and 7 times he's thrown an interception to lose the game. Also, if you look at 4 and outs, incomplete passes, check downs maybe that didn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage for a first down.
Okay.
When we add those in, 14 times I can find out of those 26, and I'm being nice, we can directly link Derek Carr's inability to close it out.
Right.
As directly his fault.
Yes.
So an entire season's worth of games, Derek Carr has lost in the fourth quarter that he's directly responsible for, either by not attempting a pass that even gets back to the line of scrimmage, let alone a first down marker.
Right.
Or fumbled the ball or threw an interception.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The debatable, so obviously that leaves 8 left that are debatable. Only 4 out of these 26 games I can find that are clearly not his fault. I'm thinking about Latavius Murray fumbling the ball. I'm thinking about just this in 2018, Doug Martin fumbled. That was against Indianapolis. And that fumble cost us the game. That's not Derek Carr's fault. So there are 4 times where I've found where I'm like, okay, that's not, you can't pin that on Derek. Okay. But 7 times he's thrown an interception. 2 of those were pick sixes to lose the game. So what I'm telling you this, Raider Nation, is that from 2014 to 2019, look it up, man. Jets, New England, San Diego, Arizona, San Diego, Chicago, Denver, Pittsburgh, Miami, Minnesota, Detroit, Kansas City, Green Bay, Kansas City, Atlanta, Kansas City, Denver, San Diego, Dallas, Philly.
It's our freaking
Rams,
rivals.
right? The Broncos, the Dolphins, the Colts, Texans, Jaguars, and most
I heard
recently,
you say KC like 8 times right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, holy crap,
It's like, this is the stuff. So look, and I didn't even count up the division. So let me count. Okay, so we got 1. So count these with me, Swaggo. I'll name them. You count them. Denver, San Diego, Denver, Kansas City, Denver, San Diego. How many is that?
11.
11 times against our in-division rivals, Derek Carr has gotten the ball back, less than a score, in the fourth quarter, and failed to win the game. Now, look, Raider Nation, I'm not telling you to have an opinion. I think this is the thing that I've landed on.
Yes.
That why we feel funky about him as our quarterback. I don't care if he throws for 4,000 yards in a season. If you don't throw for big yards when it comes down to the game is on the line, what do you do when the game is on the line? And so far, unless somebody can hit me to something I'm not aware of, the track record is just not that great, man.
Yeah.
He's not that clutch.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And you can look at the numbers. And so what we've decided to do is we thought we would put those numbers side by side.
Okay.
We're going to put our numbers side by side with quarterbacks that have similar careers, similar stats as Derek Carr. So you look at Derek Carr, and we already mentioned that 7 of those comeback wins were in 2016, the year that he balled. And then you consider the Chicago game that he didn't have a part of. And then, but you look he's got comeback wins where he threw 1 touchdown pass, 1 touchdown pass, 1 touchdown pass, 2 touchdown passes, 0 touchdown pass, 0 touchdown pass. You look at all those, and then you look at a guy like Matt Stafford, who has also never, doesn't have a lot of postseason experience and stuff like that. But you look at that guy, and he's got 6 touchdown pass, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. It's all there together. And then you look at it, you look at the guy that's sitting behind him on the bench right now, Marcus Mariota, who he only has 9 fourth quarter comebacks. But the stat that looks really pretty to me is that he has 1 postseason fourth quarter comebacks
against KC.
And out of those 9 fourth quarter comebacks that he has 2 against KC.
Oh my gosh.
He's got 2, and both of them, guess where they were at? In Arrowhead. In the cold.
Oh my gosh. So you brought up Matt Stafford, so it's funny because one of these games, one of Matthews' fourth quarter comebacks, because the Raiders got the ball, okay, down there, 19-13 was the final. Derek Carr had 3 downs. It was a 3-and-out and a holding in the end zone for a safety. Now, that's one example. I put it down as a question mark. Was it his fault? Because somebody held in the end zone? I don't know. Was he hanging on the ball too long? Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the play, so I left that. But there's a perfect...
you give him the benefit of the doubt and say no.
But there you go. But there's a perfect example where somebody like Matt Stafford balls out at that time, and Derek did. You know, and so what's also interesting, and now is we're just kind of talking through this. So 18 total wins. If you subtract the 7 out from 2016, that leaves you with 11, right?
With 11.
All right. You know how many fourth quarter...
Subtract out the game with Chicago.
All right. So then you got 4 fourth quarter losses on my list here, or excuse me, 3 that losses that happened in 2016. So that leaves me. It's if you take out the 2016.
Oh yeah,
16, he's 11-23. It gets worse.
Yep. Okay.
Exponentially worse.
Okay. So go further with that. Go deeper into 2016. So he had 7. He had 7 comeback from behind in the fourth quarter wins, but that same season he had 3 where he had an opportunity to win and didn't win.
Yes.
So that would mean instead of 12-4, we would have been freaking 15-1. And guess who's not playing in the game against the Colts?
Oh.
Derek Carr is not playing in the game against the Colts. So you say he rides the bench. Matt McGloin finishes out the season. You say, okay, at worst, you're going to be 14-2. You're going to have the number 1 seed in the playoffs. And you're going to, and then what happens then? And then we're not having this freaking conversation because Derek Carr probably could have gone and won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
This is crazy. I mean, it's a lot of coulda, shoulda, woulda. I get it. But you know what, though? But these are the kind of things, though. This is context.
Yes.
Now we're giving you context. It's not just, look, we're not, look, you got people on Twitter all the time. Well, look at Derek Carr's numbers. And this is not a shot at any particular person because everyone wants to promote their narrative for their guy. And look, and I get it. And this is not, I've gotten a lot of feedback on Twitter and stuff, Jeff, and even Facebook, and people will be like, well, the Derek Carr hate. Look, it's not hate, y'all. Please understand this. I'm trying to understand my own fandom, like, let alone yours. Like, I'm not telling you to have an opinion. I'm not telling you, well, Derek Carr sucks. I'm not telling you Derek Carr is great. I'm not telling you think whatever you want to think. What I'm telling you is that here's some numbers. Here's some context. This is how they make me feel. And this is how I feel as a Raider fan.
Sure.
I love the guy. I hope he wins us a damn Super Bowl this year. But now I understand why I have an uneasy feeling about him, because it has nothing to do with how great his numbers are. It has to do with what he does here. When he throws that pick to Marcus Peters in the end and it gets picked off and scored for 6 and he grabs his junk on the way to the end zone and that's game over. That's how I feel about this. So, and here it is. And it happens a lot. It happens more frequently than it doesn't. And that's why we're at where we're at.
Yeah.
And so,
and you know, and to piggyback on that, look, we love Carr. Carr's our favorite quarterback. He's QB1 for the Raiders. We love the guy, but we want to win. Like, I love Derek Carr, but I love the Raiders more.
Amen.
You know what I mean? I mean, plain and simple, I want to win. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
And, you know, when you look at these stats, you go, okay, is this the guy that's going to bring us our 4th Lombardi? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, man. Some of these are rough. Like, okay, here's the worst one. Then we'll move on. So in December 6th, 2015.
Okay.
We're playing Kansas City. The Raiders lose 34-20. Okay. When the Raiders had 3 series down in that game. Okay. They were tied when the Raiders got the ball the first time in the 4th quarter.
Okay.
They were tied. So they were down 0. Okay. They had 3 total series in that game. Derek Carr went interception, pick 6.
Oh, no.
Raiders lose 34-20.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That hurts. So,
it hurts.
So
I love the guy, but it hurts. That hurts.
You all decide. You tell me how that makes you feel.
Exactly. And you want to dive deeper into this past season.
Do it.
So we had 3, what was it? we had 3 losses where we were within a score, and we lost. So this season we lost 27-24 in Houston. We lost 20-16 as the last game in Oakland and Jacksonville, and then we lost 16-15 in Denver to close out the year. But a stat for Derek Carr that really popped out to me and was really interesting to me. So on third down this year, Derek Carr threw the ball short of the first down line to gain on 44.1% of his passes on third down. That's 22nd out of 29 qualifying quarterbacks that can have that stat. So you look at all those ones where he went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I mean, how many more wins is that? Throw the ball, and yes, you can say that is the receiver's fault. Go up there to the first down marker and then break your route. But I don't know.
Did it happen?
I don't know.
44% of the time? Is that all on them?
Yeah, no. Those were checkdowns.
It's exactly what it is.
Or throwing it in the damn dirt.
And that's the thing and that's what a lot of the stats are when you look at it individually. And I'll post this up on our social so you guys can look at all of our notes on this thing. When you look at the amount of times he threw short of the line to gain, I mean, like, I don't know. Anyways, it's very interesting. And so that said, let's move on from it. I feel like we've exhausted this stuff at this point, and whether the Raiders draft a quarterback this year or not, I feel like they should or could in the third round. We've now got the quarterback room seemingly rounded out for now because it's Carr, Mariota, and then Peterman, right? Didn't Peterman sign his tender or whatever?
Yeah, it's got like certain stipulations on it or something like that. Like if someone else decides to pick him up, then we don't have to pay all of his salary or something like that.
But he's guaranteed money from us, essentially, though, at this point.
I believe so.
So we think that's going to be the quarterback room. So we probably, unless someone really attractive falls to us, like I mean, I could see him going.
Well, I could see him getting Hurts in the third round or something like that if they really feel like they need another guy. I don't know.
Bring another camp arm kind of thing. But you only bring in a camp arm for the third round. Like you're bringing in a guy to develop if you bring him in the third. So
maybe.
And then Peterman, you move on from. I don't know. But anyways, it's interesting. But I think at a minimum at this point, it's Carr and Mariota.
Yeah.
That's your Raider quarterbacks this year. Yeah. And gonna be Carr. Like it. There's no reason Derek Carr will lose his starting job week 1.
No, unless something crazy happens and he gets traded before the season starts, he will be QB1 week 1.
He'll be QB1 week 1. And so here's your chance, Derek. And you would think that 6 years in, we should be well past the whole prove it year concept. But here you go. Like this really is it.
This really is.
You know what I mean? Like we heard him get booed plenty in Oakland. If you open up that big, beautiful freaking stadium in Las Vegas and you fail in the fourth quarter like this.
Yeah, you crap the bed first game in Vegas.
Guess what? There's going to be plenty of boo birds there too, buddy.
Yikes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That fresh start's going to end real freaking quick if you don't get off to a good start.
Exactly. And I'm a newer Raider fan, so I didn't follow the team as much in the early 2000s, but like this situation with Mariota, this is what Gruden loves. He loves the second chance redemption quarterback, all that kind of stuff. And it seems eerily similar with the Gannon stuff, man. I'm telling you.
Big time. Absolutely big time. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so let's go. Let's move on. So we mentioned there's a draft.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Here is latest draft.
There's a draft!
Today's our draft.
Watch out for drafts.
This is the NFL draft.
The first draft. Look, I'm into any draft.
He's going pro in the draft.
You're going to the draft?
Surefire first round draft pick.
Draft looks solid.
Good luck with the draft.
They drafted me.
Apparently we're drafted.
I drafted you.
I got drafted.
Another successful draft.
Yeah. Shallow draft.
Draft picks.
It's my third draft.
You only get drafted once.
Well, it's draft day.
Let's talk about the draft.
This is going to be the worst draft yet.
It's our draft.
You draft me in the first round.
Number 1 draft choice, signed a big contract.
Excellent draft.
Nashville Day. Nashville Day. Nashville Day.
Well, it's only appropriate we play that one because that was the last draft.
Yeah.
Still, it's the last time that we actually had a draft.
Yeah, we want to add Vegas, baby, Vegas.
You got it? Hit it, dude. Play it.
Vegas!
Yeah,
Vegas,
man.
baby, Vegas!
Best movie ever.
Well, yeah, we're going to be up 500 by midnight.
Meet us at the what was it? The Bamboo Lounge at 501.
Well, yeah.
And bring a friend. All right, so there's a lot of fun stuff going on this week. First off, let's go ahead. We talked all this business about Derek Carr. Well, it doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what we as fans even think. What does Mike Mayock think about Derek Carr? Let's go ahead and check that out.
Look, I try to tell people that you don't understand how good a quarterback Derek Carr is. I mean, the guy completed 70% of his passes, had almost a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. We were, I think, 11th in the league in yards. We were 9th in the league in passing yards, 13th in rushing. I mean,
and he's under contract and he's young.
and there's no guaranteed money left. I mean, he's 28 years old, right? And he just completed 70% of his passes. And I try to tell people, I think that the point number one is, listen, we got a quarterback in year 2 with John Gruden that's playing at a high level. There aren't many human beings out there that are going to play at a higher level than he does, okay? The caveat to that, and what gets people all excited, is I came in day one, and I said, look, my job is to evaluate every position every year. And if we can get better, we will. If we can't, we won't. And people, you open the door and you're not. That's crazy. I mean, John and I respect and know what we have in Derek Carr. Trust me. Okay, all the rumors that are out there are rumors. My job is to evaluate every quarterback that's a free agent, every running back that's a free agent, every wideout, every lineman, and I do.
I know you do.
So, and we do, John and I. And so we're trying to get better at every position.
First off, Mike Mayock is a badass.
I
dude.
love that guy, man. I love him and his whole friggin' family.
His whole family, all the Mayocks.
I love them.
We're in for all the Mayocks.
Yeah,
around
we are.
here. Yeah. So anyway, so very good stuff there. And I think that's the read. Like, yeah, he's not a bad guy. Like, he's not a bad QB. Like, he's good. Like, there are a lot of things that Derek Carr does very, very well.
Yeah.
Once those things start translating into W's, all this rumor and talk will all go away.
Yeah, when you can look at other teams in the league and be like, well, at least we're not in that situation. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a ton of other teams you're like, holy cow, I wouldn't want to be the Bears right now, stuck with Trubisky or, something stupid like that. We're in a good spot.
For years, we've actually, and I'll speak for myself on this, I've actually become spoiled because I remember Andrew Walter. I remember Jamarcus Russell. I remember, even Dante Culpepper and Aaron Brooks and all that. Like, I remember there was some Bruce Gradkowski. Like, it was like, all those players had like moments. Like, Culpepper had a moment against the Dolphins. Gradkowski had a moment against the Steelers. Carson Palmer, right? Like, so like, there were like, we had years and years upon years of dysfunction at quarterback, man. Like, Matt Schaub, Matt Flynn. Like, I mean, we could go on and on about the knuckleheads that we've had come through and play quarterback for the team. So we've become a little bit spoiled because Derek Carr, compared to all those people I just named, has been freaking really good.
Right.
Like, he's been very good.
Yes.
Only when you start comparing him to, like, literally Hall of Fame all-time greats like Kenny Stabler does it start to fall apart.
Yeah.
But that's what we do as fans.
Well, and then we also look, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but you look at our division. You look at our division too. And so, back in the day when, when Alex Smith was the quarterback, I mean, not back in the day, that was a few years ago, but when Alex Smith was the quarterback in Kansas City, you're like, okay, well, Derek Carr, Alex Smith, it's good. But then when you get the next level of player come in for one of our rivals, we're like, okay, now we need that guy. We have to counter that.
We have to.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about one of the more, and I feel gross even saying this, but one of the more dynamic players, not even just quarterback, but dynamic players to have hit the NFL in a long time.
I hate him, but he's incredible.
He's freaking good, man. It's insane how good he is.
Yeah. Then this year, I mean, you think whether it's Justin Herbert, whether it's Tua, whoever it is, the Chargers are drafting a quarterback, and then you got Drew Lock coming up, and he's pretty special too. So, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, we're hungry. We want to counter all that stuff.
Yeah, we got to get after it, and that's the big thing is that we got to beat the Chiefs. We got to beat the best team in football, and again, one of the more dynamic players and more dynamic offenses that we've seen since like the 2007 Patriots. Like, think about it. Like, when was the last time we saw a team that explosive where it was like it didn't matter how much you were down in the fourth quarter? Speaking of all this fourth quarter stuff, it doesn't matter. And the other thing about that guy too is, and here I go back on the Derek Carr thing again. The other thing that's different about him too is that when the Chiefs are down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, what's Patrick Mahomes doing?
He's winning the game.
We got this, guys. We got it. Let's go. One play at a time.
Okay.
One series at a time. We got it. What's Derek Carr doing?
Exactly.
He's sulking on the goddamn sideline.
Exactly. Look at the first round of the playoffs this year when the Chiefs go down 24-0 against Houston and come back and win by 30 points. I'm like, what?
And down 24, he's firing dudes up on the sideline.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. We got to stop. All right.
Okay. Draft. There's a draft.
Hey, Mike, you're about to embark on a virtual draft followed by a virtual off-season program. I'm just curious if you could speak to sort of the challenges of that and whether, such a potentially limited off-season, what kind of effect will that have on the players that you bring in? And are some positions more difficult than others, like, say, quarterback?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, first of all, as far as the draft is concerned, I kind of laugh because everybody's talking about this virtual draft and how high tech it is. If you could see my living room right now, it's the ultimate in low tech. I've got 5 huge whiteboards, and I probably have 1,000 magnets with names on them all over the place.
Smart.
So I kind of feel like I'm sitting in the middle of a 1976 draft room, and it's kind of back to the future. But you're 100% right. As far as the process is concerned, in the draft, we've spent a lot of time on Zoom. Our coaches have done an unbelievable job of preparing information to challenge the college player via the Zoom. I don't even know how many we've done so far, but it's been pretty cool spending up to an hour with each of these individual kids and getting to know them that way. So from a draft process, Jerry, we're all doing it the same way. Nobody's got an advantage. And the Raiders are 100% prepared and ready to go, and we're excited about this draft. So I don't think it necessarily hurts anybody. We're all playing by the same rules. I think the harder thing with this draft is the medical side of it. Just trying to verify, especially the guys that had surgery after the new year, what kind of rehab they're having. Are they going to be in time for training camp? And then we get into the whole process of, will there be a training camp? Is there any part of the off-season program that won't be virtual? And, Jerry, I think that's where it really gets tricky. And that's where I'm really happy with Coach Gruden and the coaching staff. And, we're going to start on April 27th so that our rookies can be involved and our draft picks can be involved. And, again, there's going to be a lot of meetings via Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever we're going to use for that. We're going to emphasize the installation, the mental side of it. This is where having the right guys in the locker room, Jerry, mean a lot. Who's working out on their own, who's doing what's necessary to stay in shape to the extent that they can. You mentioned the quarterback position. We're very, very appreciative to have Derek Carr. He knows John's offense. He's going into year 3 of it. Marcus Mariota, John and I both know him very, very well. So we feel really good about the quarterback position, and we feel good about the type of kids that we have in our program. The hard part is we've got a big free agency class, and we've got to kind of get them invested and up to speed as soon as possible. And I think that really is the trick right there.
All right, so let's talk about Derek Carr.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, first off, shout out Jerry McDonald. No free shout outs. Busting with the boys.
Yeah.
Jerry McDonald there with asking the question there on the conference call. That was pretty cool here from our good buddy Jerry McDonald. Pretty cool there. I like the fact that he's going lo-fi with it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, not like the power goes out all the time in Oakland, but you know what I mean? Like, just that whole idea of like making it foolproof to where
Just in
power
case.
goes out, internet goes down, Zoom fails, like whatever. You still got your board going. Like even, and it's funny because, and I'm not as an old school guy as Mayock is, obviously, but like even for our show tonight or every show we ever do, we go off. Listen. We go off printed materials. I don't go off I got 6 screens sitting here in front of me between my phone and everything else, but like I don't rely on them for the show. Everything up is printed in front of us because it's tangible. And if something screws up, this won't go away with this thing in front of me here. You know what I mean? So, so I kind of like that idea. How about you?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, yeah, and if the internet goes down or whatever, he can just hop on his cell phone or whatever, and he's got everything right there. And because I don't know how the draft is going to work this year, but I assume it's like fantasy football draft where if you don't make your pick within 10 minutes, you go on auto draft.
All of a sudden, it's like and Jordan Love goes to the Oakland Raiders at 19.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody goes,
no.
Yeah. All right, so pretty cool there. All right, so one more thing about Mayock and his setup here. So, as you all know, Mike Mayock and Rich Eisen, good friends from back in the NFL Network days, and they still keep in touch quite a bit. And Rich has been doing this thing on his show and also social media where he's been taking the GM's at-home draft setup. So we've seen like Dave Gettleman, and we've seen Sean Payton, and we've seen like all these. I always forget the guy in Atlanta. Oh gosh, I'll come back to you with it. But we've seen all the different GMs in their setup. Yeah. So people are asking about Mayock. And so Rich Eisen goes, well, I'll just text my buddy Mike. I'll text my buddy Mike and I'll ask him what he's got. And this is what Mayock hit him with on the show.
You requested Mike Mayock.
We did.
I texted Mike Mayock and
Thomas Dimitrov. I always forget his name.
Nice.
I texted Mike. I said the following to Mike. I'm like, hey, look, many are probably texting you for information, but that's not me. What's me is I'm asking everybody for their home draft setup. Would you mind taking a photograph of it? And I got from Mayock this photograph.
Okay, now this is a picture of the Bay and the city of San Francisco. Like you're like looking across out of a window, across the street, across the Bay to the city of San Francisco.
I got this from Mike Mayock pointing out that is the city of San Francisco across the water.
Okay.
SF in background, my draft room. I said, not your view from your draft room, your actual setup. Like you crack me up, man.
Etc.
To which he then responds, I know what you meant. Dot.
Yes.
I love that.
Love it, man. Mike's the best, man. He's the absolute best.
Absolutely.
Best acquisition for the Raiders since I don't know when. Seriously, he's changed. You know what? This is something we hadn't even talked about.
Okay.
You're even, as a newer fan even though, I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
What has been more impactful? Now, sentimentally, John Gruden's return was much larger. When that happened, when that got announced, because, I mean, I'm the guy that this was like way pre like YouTube stuff and like all that. I used to download Swaggo over freaking dial-up, download John Gruden's press conferences and listen to them because he was so fascinating to listen to talk about football, like post-game and otherwise, okay? So I've been a Gruden fan, like, crazy, obnoxiously a fan of his for a long time, as many of Raider Nation has been. So when he got announced to return to the team, like Mark Davis famously said, this is a big effing deal.
Yeah.
And it really was. As much as that hit the sentiment button and the nostalgia button and all those things, I almost feel like, depending on what happens on this draft, if Mayock knocks it out of the park again, Mike Mayock is the biggest thing to happen to the Raiders since we went to the Super Bowl.
I would agree with that. But kind of both. Because Gruden coming back, it's a huge deal. It was a huge deal, and it's funny because the last game that Gruden commentated was the wild card round of the playoffs where the Chiefs got beat by his backup quarterback Marcus Mariota right now. So that was cool, and I got to see that just a huge comeback win with that. But to see him come back, that was so cool. And then now it's like a 1-2 punch because Gruden and Mayock are so close together. So I do think that Mayock is ultimately making the calls on all these things, but them together, them running things together could be one of the biggest Raider acquisitions ever.
It's balance between the two of these guys.
Both of them together. They have so much freaking knowledge. And, and there's something, too, coming back into the league and coaching after you've been on the other side of it. Knowing how to dissect people, knowing what to look for, doing your mock drafts, doing your quarterback camps, all that kind of stuff. There's something to that, bro. And I think there's going to be more teams that are going to be modeling after what the Raiders have done, because in the next couple of years, I think we're going to see that, there's something to that madness.
I'm with you. These guys, Gruden and Mayock, both were behind the scenes, inside the walls of 32 NFL football teams.
Yes.
That whole idea of the game passed Gruden by, or this. No, man. He's seen what Andy Reid does. He's seen what John Harbaugh does.
Yes.
He's seen what, you name it. Bill Belichick. You name all the successful coaches in recent history. These guys were in production meetings with them. They were visiting with them when they were at their facilities and whatnot. They've had access to what breeds success in today's NFL.
Yes. What does and what doesn't.
And what doesn't. And
yes.
I'm with you, dude.
There's no trial and there's not a whole lot of trial and error right now because they just see what doesn't work.
So maybe it's the collective. Maybe it's the collective. Gruden Mayock is the biggest
thing.
That's
what I'm telling you.
It's just exciting times, man. And at some point, it's going to start to manifest success. It has to. It has to. All right. So cool stuff there. All right. So, Gruden Mayock, not a bad 1-2 punch, but it's not quite Murf and Swaggo.
Oh, no. That's the ultimate 1-2 punch.
That's the ultimate 1-2 punch.
And we've seen a million mock drafts going through our
drafts.
Oh my gosh, for months now we've seen it. And who are they going to take? Who are they going to take? So because you've seen so many of those, we're going to give you 2 more.
Oh heck yeah, why not? I mean, enough with the mocks after hours. Okay, so some people kill with the mock mojo every day. I'm gonna do a mock draft every day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you keep at it, buddy. More
you
power
do it,
to
man.
you.
He's mocking and smoking meat.
Smoking meat, man. I love it. So funny. Okay, so but we're not gonna give you a mock, but I will. We've spent a lot of time over the past month or so, talking about players that could be available for the Raiders. From Jerry Jeudy to CeeDee Lamb to C.J. Henderson to I don't know. We've talked about a whole bunch of different players, and so what I'd like to do is we're gonna land on who we would like to see. Now, I said it this morning on live, and I still mean it. I don't fall in love with players because of 2 reasons. Number one, you set yourself up to be let down, a la Josh Allen last year. Everybody expected Josh Allen, and we got Cleveland Farrell. Not that Cleveland Farrell really had a good year in terms of run defense, and still will, we're going to hope has a good productive career. But he didn't do what Josh Allen did, and so that made us feel let down in the moment, right? When the Raiders announced that pick. So I don't get married to players for that, and also I don't want to get married to players because they might be wearing a Chiefs uniform or a Bronco uniform or a Charger uniform. And so I don't want to fall in love with Henry Ruggs III because if I do, and all of a sudden he's a Bronco, guess what? That sucks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, then I hate you.
Then I hate you. And I don't want to put myself through that. So I don't typically fall in love with players, and neither do you. But I will tell you kind of who I'd like to see him pick. Okay, so you go first. So the Raiders we're going to do the first round. So the Raiders have 2 picks in the first round, 12 and 19. Swaggo. Who would you like to see the Raiders draft at 12?
I believe. Who do I want, or who do I think?
Who do you want? Not who you think. Not. Let's not mock it with strategy. Let's just give as a fan of players. Who would you like to see be a Raider?
Henry Ruggs.
Okay,
Ruggs. Now, who do I think they're gonna? Because it's 2 different answers.
No, give me your guts. Give me your feelings.
Who my feeling of who I think they're going to pick.
Football's an emotional thing. Let's stick with the emotion of it.
Oh, well, then,
why would you feel like if they announce Henry Ruggs at 12, are you going, yeah? Why is that? Why?
Because he's a speedster.
Because he's fast.
Because he's quick. He would be our Tyreek Hill.
Because he would be our Tyreek Hill. Okay.
Because we're all about making the team better, but we're all about countering. because right now you've got those stupid guys in red and yellow up there.
Best team in football.
And Tyreek Hill is burning fools. And there's something to that. There's something to the quickness and all that stuff. So Henry Ruggs is that kind of guy. That's who I would want.
And that's Al Davis, man.
Yeah.
You can't coach speed. Like,
exactly.
you coach the rest of the stuff into them. Give me the guys with the most natural ability and go from there. All right, so I'll give you mine now at 12.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not even convinced that we're going to take a wide receiver at 12. We'll see. We talked earlier about how we'll see how the run on wide receivers goes, and the Raiders could possibly be the ones to kick that off. But, I mean, I really do feel like any position just about is up for the Raiders at 12.
Yes.
We could see defensive tackle. We could see corner. I mean, I don't think we're going to see, quarterback. I don't think we're going to see, safety. But could we see wide receiver, corner, linebacker, defensive lineman? Heck, I mean, I don't think there's any guards that are like, you're not talking about like Quentin Nelson capabilities here.
Yeah.
But we got deficit still in the line, depending on what we do with Gabe Jackson. Like, there really are a lot of directions, Raider Nation. That's why I say don't get hung up on any one particular thing. But if I'm going with my feeling, if I'm going with my Raider fandom, what would I want to see? I'd want to see Derek Carr, after all this business I've been giving Derek Carr, like we say, he's our guy. We're going to root for him. And I feel Derek Carr's a better quarterback with someone that's got vice grips for hands, is an incredibly reliable target. I'm not talking about the best route runner. I'm not talking about the best anything. I'm talking about a guy that will fight and ball out to go get the football, that will be that dog, as Dion always says.
Yes.
Who's the dog that's a wide receiver? It's CeeDee Lamb.
Yes.
That's the guy that I want, because I think that's what's best for Derek. Because when Derek trusts his guy to go make a play, not because that guy's 19 yards wide open like Amari Cooper, but because he can trust him like Michael Crabtree to go and beat the S out of somebody to fight for the football.
Yes.
That's the guy that I want.
And he's the guy I wrote down that I believe they will go get him. Not take emotions out of it. Who I think the team will get is
CeeDee Lamb, man. That's the one that will really fire me up, man. Again, because I think that's best for Derek. And then even if it doesn't end up working out with Derek, it'll work out with somebody else, because this is a guy that by all accounts is going to be a 12-year starter in the league. This is a guy that's going to be wide receiver number one.
Yep.
He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the athletic ability, he's got all the things, and he's a dog. He's got that mental approach to the game, the work ethic. He loves football as much as John Gruden does, and that's what will get you drafted by the Oakland Raiders nowadays, or Las Vegas Raiders. All right, so now we go to 19. Give me your guts, man.
We're taking corner at 19.
Okay.
We're taking corner at 19, and I have Trayvon Diggs from Alabama.
Some bitch. I had the same guy. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. You tell me why you like him.
You want me to pick a different one?
No. No, I don't. No, because I want this to be what we, as fans,
that's who I think. I think because, we've got Worley, who we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I guess, is he a free agent? Is he gone? Do we know?
Who, about Worley?
Yeah.
He's just out there. He hasn't been signed by anybody.
Okay, he hasn't been signed by anybody. Okay, so you got Trayvon Mullen, you got Isaiah Johnson. You need another guy. You need another guy for sure. So that's my pick. It would round out nicely with because we've got the safety that we got from Cleveland. I'm blanking on his name. I'm so sorry.
Randall.
Randall, yes. We've got him and Abram back there in the back, and then we've got Joyner in the slot, and then we would have Trayvon Mullen and Diggs on the two corners.
On the two
corners.
And
I mean, it's just a need.
It's a need. All right, so I like Diggs as well. I like him because he's got the speed, he's got the size, he's 6'1".
Yeah.
So he's a big corner, which we need, right? Because we're going against, think about who we're trying to cover here.
Yes.
Trying to cover Keenan Allen. We're trying to cover, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So I think he's good in that way. He's got all the natural ability. He also, I think, is a dog. This is the same guy. He's a younger brother of Stephon Diggs. He is a former wide receiver. So his ball skills are fantastic.
Yes, route running is good, all that stuff.
This guy can run the route for the receiver. So,
yes.
I mean, this guy can go up and he's got good ball skills. He's got decent hands. only because Nick Saban convinced him to convert to corner. Is he even playing defense at all? So this guy has got some skills, and that's what we need. We need somebody that can create turnovers for the team. But here's the thing that no one has talked about much. And you want me to tell you why? The intangible, the thing that makes me love him. Not only does he play in the SEC, but who did he practice against every single day?
Ruggs and Judy.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
2 of the top 3 wide receivers in the draft, this guy had to go against every single day in practice.
Exactly.
Give me that guy.
Yep.
Give me that guy. Give me the guy that's been tested already and proven already, because this guy, and not only in the SEC, but playing at Alabama, has been going up against pro-level talent for, 3 years.
Exactly.
Give me that guy.
Exactly.
He's got the pedigree. He's got the legacy from the family already.
Yes.
He's got the school legacy. He's got the bona fides and who he's been going up against.
Exactly.
He's got championships.
Yes.
Got the work ethic.
Exactly.
Come on, man. What else do you want? And we need like you said, we need a goddamn corner. This is the guy, dude. I think Trayvon Diggs, even more so than Henderson. If Trayvon Diggs is the pick at 12, okay. I'm good with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Come on with that.
I'm with you. And, and drafting guys, there's something to me, and I don't know, I may be silly saying this, but I think there's something about drafting guys that have teammates that are currently on the team.
Heck yeah,
I love that. I love that. I mean, drafting a guy like Trayvon Diggs, and you got Josh Jacobs, who he was hanging out with all last season, or if we go, or if we get Ruggs, and then this guy picking all Alabama first round. I mean, dude, that's awesome.
I think it's awesome,
That's
too.
awesome.
I'm with you. There's a lot of synergy there, and in fact,
and it creates a good culture,
I think we already saw it even last year.
Yes.
Think about all the Clemson guys that we got. We joke about Mullen and Renfro and Farrell, F to the E to the R, right?
Yeah.
But I know we joke about that, but that's a big deal, drafting all those kind of guys, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they already have cohesion, and they've already been coached by the best. You talk about Dabo Sweeney and Nick Saban.
And they know what it takes to win.
Yes, even
they
Coach
got a winning spirit.
Yes, man. I'm with you, dude. I'm totally with you. And that's, like I mentioned about Renfro when we drafted him last year, I'm like, every time I turn on a Clemson game, this guy's catching touchdown passes. So give us that guy.
Yep.
We talked about Jawan Jennings in that fashion. Every time we turn on a UT game, that's the guy catching touchdown passes.
Yep.
Give me that guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Give me the guy that every time I turn on the TV, Trayvon Diggs is making a play in the secondary for Alabama. Give me that guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm with you, dude. So, all right, man, this has been fun, Swaggo.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Man, we got a Tales from the Nation to get to. We got Mojo's Pod Show going on tonight. Happy draft day, Raider Nation.
Yeah,
man,
enjoy it,
so
man.
good.
Just soak up this moment. We're all here doing the same thing you are. We're watching it in front of our TVs, hanging out with fellow Raider fans and all that stuff. Just enjoy it, man. This is going to be so much fun.
So much fun. We finally got a sporting event.
Oh, my gosh. Thank God, right?
And no one's even keeping score.
I know. I know. But we went to the store earlier today to go get our beverages for the night and all kinds of stuff. And I saw people walking around with all kinds of team jerseys and stuff on,
dude.
and hats and stuff like that. I'm like, man, that's cool.
People are into it already.
Yeah,
man.
heck
That's
yeah.
killer, dude. Asking us who we think Raiders are going to draft. And so, of course, we're all in our gear already. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, man.
Awesome.
So, all right, Swaggo, you got anything before we check out?
That's it, man.
RFR Rundown, baby. Draft style.
Peace.